Hey y'all, welcome back.
Welcome back, boo-boos. I wanted to say niggettes, but I guess I said it.
You said it.
Yeah. Welcome back, y'all.
Then again, so now with my pants being unzipped, let me get professional. She may need a bigger pair. How's it going?
It's going good. How are you?
Pretty good.
Good.
Yeah.
New week, new tea.
Where we kiki with you and you kiki with
we. So how was your weekend?
My weekend was good. Damn. What happened? Oh, I know what I did. Saturday, didn't do much outside of running errands, but Sunday, the girls, we celebrated our 10-year anniversary.
I was like, what did we do? I was waiting on you to say. I'm like, what did the girls do? Okay.
We celebrated our 10-year anniversary. We went
ski resorts. You know the vibes. You know what the fuck going on.
Yeah.
Made girls.
Been here. 10 years.
Yes.
We went wine tasting. Well, we went to a winery. Cielo Farms, Malibu. Very beautiful. Then followed that up with a late lunch.
Yes.
It was nice.
It was good to get together.
Yeah, it was nice. And then that was the weekend.
Yeah, it was quick.
Yeah, came on home. And I'm like, God damn it, it's already Monday. Like, dang. As soon as I'm back, there needs to be some balance. The balance of the work week and the work week, the weekend is just not giving what I needed to give, because there's no reason why I should be there 5 days and only getting 2 days on
at
the weekend.
Home, yeah. It's a real drag.
Yeah.
It's really giving fuck from the front and the back.
Side to side.
Period. Okay, I said, hold on. The gangbang, the work, the damn job is doing a gangbang. Okay? God, both my jobs gangbanging me. It's not cool. It's not cool. It's a lot.
So that was the weekend.
Good. I had the same weekend. Ran some errands, did a little light hanging, and it was over.
That's all you have time to do.
As quickly as it started, the shit ended. I said, oh.
You go grocery shopping, you don't feel like doing anything after that.
Yeah.
It's just like, damn.
And the traffic, the city has just been backed up. I mean, it's just a mess.
Today, oh my God, on the freeway getting home, I'm like, this is ridiculous. I guess the Super Bowlers. No, it was in the afternoon.
Yeah.
I'm like, I guess the Super Bowlers have made it into town, because damn.
If it's after 2 p.m. though, you know it's tough getting back on this side.
It was before 2.
Oh, yeah. They're here.
Yeah.
It was screaming, they're here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go home, y'all. Go home. By the time y'all hear this, they'll be gone home.
Get in and get out, right. Super Bowl week is here. It is upon us.
It's going to be a mess.
But,
and you know what I seen on the news one random morning at work is that they have a bunch of undercover sting operations set up around the area, around SoFi Stadium, because there's a lot of trafficking that happens when people come into town. People who are trying to connect people to girls, and just a lot of trafficking business.
Oh, wow.
So stay safe. I mean, always be vigilant and keep your head on the swivel. But I did see that. I said, now what kind of dark ring shit is going on?
Fuck.
The trafficking.
Wow. Damn.
Yeah. Not like I'll be at the game, but the area
it won't be around the stadium.
It brings in a bunch of different type of energies.
Did you ever attend any of the All-Star festivities when I used to be in LA?
Never.
All-Star weekend?
I never was that kind of girl.
I was in the streets one
you
year.
Were?
Yeah, it was like 2010, I think it was, whenever it first came. Well, not first came, but when I was of age and could attend the festivities. Definitely was in Hollywood.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know. I probably didn't even know no shit that, no. I would be like, where are we going? Nah, not for me. But anywho.
So.
We're here.
We are here.
Yes.
We are here and we are live.
Mm-hmm.
And we are glad that you all are here and you are live in those ratings and those reviews on YouTube. Running up the ratings.
They're running them up on YouTube and Spotify.
Yeah.
There's no reviews, but the ratings are booming. So y'all keep doing what y'all doing over there on Spotify. We know Spotify's in shambles, but if that's where you choose to listen, child, if that's where your subscription is at, then just leave a review. Leave a rating. Leave a rating. Do your part. Okay. Wherever you're listening.
So the review this week comes from YouTube. Let's see.
This was a goodie.
This was a goodie. It really warmed my heart when I read
Same.
it. I said, you know what?
She was right on time.
You have a way with your words, Sierra.
Yeah.
This one comes from Sierra Smith on YouTube. She says, I would like to leave yet again another review for my two favorite podcasters. Professional podcasting requires talent, period. You ladies are authentic, talented, and called for such a time as this to speak life into women in all stages of life. Y'all are doing God's work week after week.
This has always been a God thing, Sister Sierra, my sister in Christ. And you see it.
Sister.
My sister in Christ.
Yeah. Professional podcasting, because that's what we are. Professional podcasters.
Period. Okay, it's not amateur. It ain't amateur.
It's not for the lighthearted, okay? It takes a lot
of dedication,
skill, and talent, like she said. Skill and talent.
It's really not easy. I know everyone thinks they can pick up a mic. They think they can pick up a mic. But when it's really time to get it popping, it hits different. It really, although it's talent, it does take dedication.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of
time.
I mean, time, of course, but there's also a little piece that you can't buy, no matter how dedicated.
Well, that's the talent part. That's the talent she spoke of. That's the talent. That's that's how I interpret it. Talent is something that you just have. You can work at it, foster it, make it greater, practice, do the things you need to do. Beyonce could already sing, but she had vocal coaching.
Yeah.
For optimal level.
Yeah.
So, we're fostering the talent, the God-given.
But this, y'all,
talent.
The chemistry, that baby, it can't be bottled up. It can't be souls. We'll work on that. That's just here. Okay? It's natural. It's giving real natural vibes. Yeah.
It is. So.
It's natural.
And, shout out to the girls for getting some recognition this week.
Yes.
In the month of Black History.
Come on.
We are featured on Apple Podcasts Black History Month playlist, which is a big deal.
Dun, 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 dun,
it's a big deal. And on top of that, we are charting in the society and culture category on Apple Podcasts, which is every podcaster's dream. I'm just going to go out and say it, go out on the limb and speak for all podcasters when I say charting in Apple Podcasts top charts. It's a big deal. Okay, there are over 2 million podcasts, baby. So when you hit that top, you're doing things.
Talk that talk. Listen, she said it.
You're doing things, and things are being done.
Yeah. So thank y'all for listening, for downloading the show, for telling a homegirl to tell a homegirl. We greatly appreciate it.
We do,
because y'all, we've been doing this for a mighty long time. He's brought us a real long way.
5 years to be exact. So this is not an overnight thing. The girls who get it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank y'all, though. We wouldn't be able to do this without y'all. So.
We wouldn't. So another thing we wouldn't be able to do without y'all is sit here in front of this camera with these lights on in our studio. And you know who makes that all possible?
The patrons.
The patrons. If you've been living under a rock, then I want to lift the veil and bring you out to light. Patreon.
You're under there, get your ass out.
Like the little Patrick. You know how Patrick lived under a rock? SpongeBob?
Who lives in a pineapple under the sea? That's SpongeBob. So Patrick lives.
Stop it. Patrick lived. It don't even matter. I'm just letting y'all know. Join us over on Patreon. It's our exclusive membership community where we have tons of extra bonus content, goodies. Our visual our visual affirmations, our audio affirmations was just dropped. You should get a sneak peek if you love what you heard. Join us over on the platform. We have tons of things.
Tons.
So yeah, we're gonna shout out our patrons.
We are.
Who are they? Who are my girls?
Patrons this week we have
big spotlight for these girls.
We have Danny.
Hey Danny.
Brianna.
Hey Brianna girl.
Jazzy.
Hey Jazzy. Oh, cute.
Tamia.
Hey Tamia.
Berna
like Burna Boy.
My nigga, what's it gonna be?
Yeah.
We struggle pulling up those songs.
But Burna, we love you, girl.
We love you, Burna. And Brandy.
Brandy, you already know how I can take it for you, girl.
Yeah. Wait, what?
Don't know what I'd ever do without you from the beginning to the end.
Yeah,
that was for you, girl. That was for you.
That was a song that was on my mind too.
Period. So thank y'all.
So those are the girls.
Our new patrons. We really appreciate it. And you know what, homegirls out there, if we did not say your name, is because you did not sign up. So if you want that, get on over to Patreon. so we can give you your flowers.
Please.
Love you.
Love you.
So last week, we talked about powernomics and the importance of networking. Intentionally, purposefully networking, doing what we got to do to connect and stay connected.
Within our minority communities.
Linking up. What did you learn from that episode?
I learned that it is very important to network, but also intentionally network and not just flow through, not taking advantage of the resources that others can provide, but also the ones that I can provide as well. Yeah. How about yourself?
I learned the power of community of networking, but also staying connected, doing the follow-up. That's what I've learned. It's really important for us to make the initial bond, but then keep working at it to build it so that it's really actually a network of resources, not just like, I feel like I know him, but I don't, and ain't shit happen. So yeah, I think that's something that I'm taking away and I will be implementing.
Cool.
Yes.
So if you all are interested in that topic, the episode is there for you.
Go on back there and listen, child.
Yeah. So here we are this week.
Yes.
And we are chatting about responsibility, radical responsibility, and accountability.
Period.
Sounds like a read.
We can all stand to be a little more accountable and a little more responsible.
We can.
Listen.
We can.
There's a big difference between the two.
There is. Should we break them down?
Break them down. We're heavy on the notes today, y'all.
We are. I thought you were going to lead us.
Oh, lead us in the prayer?
Yeah.
Yes. So, typically when you think about like accountability or responsibility, you think like, oh shit, who's in trouble? Who's at fault? We automatically, like, our mind goes there, right? But there's a difference between the two. And I feel like establishing the difference between the two will help us further grow into better people, right? And be able to take some agency over our lives and do shit the right way.
Right.
Do shit the right way. So responsibility relates to a task. It's taking ownership of the project, the thing that's happening right now, right? Whereas accountability is the afterthought.
Exactly. After something has taken place, who can we go to speak? Like, who can we hold accountable for what took place? What has already been completed?
It's the completed task, the completed piece, whereas the responsibility is the current, who it's assigned to.
Yes.
Right? And I'm going to be using this when I get ready to tell people, you're not being responsible, or you're not, I'm holding you accountable, motherfucker.
You have to hold people accountable.
It's a difference.
Accountability is very important. We know they're both important.
Yeah.
But yes, we do have to hold people accountable. We have to hold ourselves accountable too.
Period.
Because sometimes it's easier to hold other people accountable because it's like, I can place this on you.
Right. When really it's like, maybe they should have been responsible, but the accountability ain't even on them, because technically it's just like your job, right? Delineation of tasks.
Yeah.
That's who might be responsible for a certain thing. But when you have to be accountable for my specific job, no matter if I was responsible for something or not, I have to be accountable once the patient leaves for the overall discharge plan. So here's even better example.
What?
There are multiple people who work together to collaborate on a discharge plan for my patients, our patients. There's myself, the case manager, and then there's the discharge planner. When the orders go in, the discharge planner is responsible for certain things, but I am accountable for the overall case. So I need to be looking.
So you're the one that's going to be held accountable.
If
it's not the discharge planner, even if the discharge planner
didn't do what they were supposed to do,
the overall completion of the patient's chart
should have came from me. They're going to be looking at me saying, okay, but did you make contact with...
Did you follow up with the discharge planner?
Period.
When they didn't do what they were supposed to do?
Period.
You're the one that's going to be held accountable.
Period.
You can't place the blame like, well, the discharge planner didn't do that.
Exactly. I can say that, but then it's going to be like, so what steps did you take to make sure that it was either done, completed, follow up, what?
Right.
And that's why I get in there trying to be like, case manager spoke with. Okay, put it on their ass. What does responsibility look like to you?
Responsibility looks like to me doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Because I know that I'm responsible for tons of things. And I consider myself to be very responsible. I take initiative to get done what needs to be done. When things are delegated to me, I make it my mission to complete. Mission. I do. I make it my mission to complete them because I feel like in my mind there's already a self-accountability. I feel like I'm pretty self-accountable. So I am the driving force behind completing the things that I'm responsible for. Like, I don't have to be micromanaged. I don't have to be consistently asked most of the time. It's just like, okay, I know I'm responsible for this shit. Let me do it. I know I'm responsible for paying my bills. That means I know that I need to always be employed. I always need to have money coming in. I know when the bills are due. And so I take care of them.
That's the piece, is knowing when
if I commit to something, if something's delegated to me, I'm like, okay, this is my responsibility. I know I need to do it. So I need to schedule it. I need to make sure I'm responsible for being here on Wednesdays at whatever time for this show. Yeah. So I have to make sure I have things in place so that my ass is here, because it's my responsibility. That's what it looks like to me. Just showing up when I'm supposed to show up, doing what I say I'm going to do, and not really making any excuses, because it's easy to make excuses to put off what the fuck I know I'm supposed to be doing. Like, well, we do it all the time. Oh my God, there was so much traffic. Did you leave on time? Did you wake up on time?
That's the piece that's holding the person accountable. That's the accountability piece.
And responsibility. Like, you know what you're responsible for, so you know what you need to do to make sure your responsibilities are completed.
Yes.
How about for you?
Nigga, you said it all. You let
I read it down.
You said it already.
As an older daughter, eldest
daughter, honey.
Responsibility was ingrained in my ass. I had to be responsible. It wasn't optional.
Speaking of responsibility as an oldest daughters, I spoke with my younger sibling today. And she on my line asking me for something, and I had to drill into her ass. I'm like, look. Don't make your situation now my emergency. Yeah. And then I had to pull out the responsibility card. I'm like, how don't you have what you need? Right. Where is this? Then I have to also ask her. She's talking about you want this to, like, without me giving her business up. I'm trying to, like, give the overall context, but she's basically asking me, do I want her to feel the consequences of what she did? Yes. Right. Right. I'm saying yes. Ultimately, I'm saying it don't even got shit to do with me. You need to feel the consequences so that you know to stop coming to me, stop coming to anybody, and hold yourself accountable for being irresponsible. And also, maybe if you feel this, you won't want to feel it again, and then you will learn from it and put yourself in a position so that this doesn't happen again. But I'm like, bruh, where does your responsibility lie? How are you so irresponsible in certain aspects of your life? I know. Is it an older sibling thing? I'm like, bruh, I'll be making sure I have all my shit together. Also, it's a hyper independent thing, because I do not want to ask anybody for anything. Right. Like, I completely damn near, I don't want to say emancipated myself, but when my mom would hold certain things over my head, I said, you will not. One time she told me she wasn't going to pay my tuition. We was funking, and I was like, hold on. So what happened? I took out a student loan. I said, let me show you how I get down. Right. You're not gonna, baby girl. Right. She was like, I'm paying this, I'm paying that. Oh, you don't, let me take something off your plate. I said, let me take that off your plate. I know you don't want me getting a loan. I really did it kind of slick too. I just applied, and after we had already funked, it's hard for me to forgive, so I gotta be real petty with it. After we funked, the beef was cleared. She was ready to pay it. She was like, it was like a month later. Yeah, she was like, I won't pay your tuition and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I said, oh, I don't like that. You ain't gonna hold that against me. So a few months went by. I had already applied for the financial aid and all, did all the shit, and got the loan, got approved, it was easy. And then when the semester was starting up, she was like, oh, let me know how much the tuition is. I'm gonna write the check. And I said, oh, don't worry about it. It's already paid. She was like, I hit up Sally. I hit up Sally Mae. I'm in the hole, but I hit her up. Nappy. Just so I wouldn't have to use your ass. I went another route. Nigga, that's what I said. Navient. I actually got Navient on the phone, and I'm good. I was like, oh, it's already paid. She was like, And she said, what'd you do? I said, I just applied for a loan. It's good. I said, I'm gonna pay for it. I did the same thing with my phone bill. She was getting crazy. I said, let me call AT&T. I said, what do I need to do to actually create my own take on? I told her, actually, I'm off your phone bill. I am off your phone bill. She tried the same thing with the car. I went down Mini Cooper, BMW Mini Cooper. I said, actually, I got a whip. I actually did, because she was like, you can't get a new car or something. I said, girl, no. She said, you're gonna start paying your own car note. I said, if I'm gonna pay my car note, then I'm gonna get the car that I want. And then a switcheroo occurred. Child, I'm big with that. That's why I'm responsible. And that's why I hold myself accountable to make sure that the things I have, the things I want, the things I need, I have. Because I can't trust. It's hard for me to trust fall. It's really hard for me to take it there. So I just make sure all my I's are dotted, my T's are crossed, my Q's are queued with the little tail. Because the
other part of my responsibility came from like, I always knew that if I was depending on somebody else, I was going to be limited. Like I wasn't going to be able to get everything that I wanted. It's like, okay, we can do this, but we can't do that. I'll never forget when I said I wanted to go to FITM and they were like,
listen.
Period. And they were like, Brittany, we're not paying $20,000. And I'm like, I see that I'm alone. I see that I'm doing this by myself. Like I see that you guys have provided whatever you were going to provide, and now whatever I want as an adult, I have to figure it out. So I'm like, say less. And ever since then, I have been independent, taking care of myself, paying my rent, paying anything I have, I've been solely responsible for. Because what I'm not going to do is not have what I want to have because, like,
I'm relying on
this is
somebody
all I
else.
can get from here, or I don't know what I'm going to do.
So that switched your, like, self-reliance.
Yeah, like, I'm like, this is what if I want to go to college, I have to pay for it. If you want to do things, you have to pay for it. Like, you're an adult now. The 18 adult vibe. That was a vibe in my household. So it's like, okay, well, shit, damn, let me be an adult. And let me be a responsible adult. Not saying I didn't make stupid decisions, like,
of course,
running up credit cards and doing things that weren't the best, but I was in survival mode, trying to figure out what I could do, because I'm now responsible for myself.
Yeah.
From being taken care of to not.
Yeah.
It's like, you can live here. I didn't want to live here I wanted to do what I wanted to do. So I had to figure it out.
Yeah, for sure. Because then if you're living there, then you're limited to.
Yeah, it's not like, oh, you know what?
It's
you
a
can
free
go
for all.
out. We'll get you an apartment. We'll pay for this. It's like, you can stay here. There's a place for you here.
Shelter.
This is how we're
The shelter
providing.
and
And I'm
food
like,
vibe.
actually, I want to live on my own. So let me figure out a way to pay for it. So.
Yes.
That's how my responsibility came. And ever since then, it's been stuck because I'm like, if you don't do it, then it's not going to get done.
Right.
Which has probably created some hyper independence because it's like,
Nigga,
you don't got to worry about me. I can figure it out.
You don't got to worry about me. You don't got to worry about me. That's how I be, y'all. I'm like, oh, wait, hold on. Say less.
So, yeah. So let's talk about the blame game. Backtracking a little bit with the accountability, because sometimes we blame and shame others because we do not want to take the responsibility or the accountability for things. It's like, let me clear mine now. Who did it?
Right.
That's who can I speak? Oh gosh, when I be getting emails, like, I'd be like, please don't tell me this is something I'm accountable for. When some shit goes to the left, I'm like, let me make sure this.
That's the first thing we look for at work. As soon as something hit, I'm like,
isn't a ball that I dropped.
Listen, that's what I'd be like. Can you give me that patience MRN?
Yeah.
I'm like, it actually was not. Let me go ahead and transfer you to the person who did drop the ball.
Right.
I'm quick with that. I will.
And we honestly,
myself off the phone.
We live in a culture of blame. As humans, we're looking for a place to somewhere to place the blame. We go through breakups, and it's like, and I've been guilty of this before. They did this, they did that. This is why we ain't together.
Yeah.
Da 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 da. Going down a whole laundry list of the things that were done to me, which resulted in the end of the relationship. And very rarely, if ever, saying the part that I played, because we all do play a part.
We do, but perception is reality. So that's also a piece in that too, you know.
And oftentimes we want to justify why some shit ended, and we don't want to be like, it's my fault.
I feel like I hate taking, when it comes down to a relationship, I try to be on the straight and narrow, because the thing with niggas, once you on their side, once you do the fucking up, it's hard to come back. That's number one. And number two, nigga, if it goes bad, I don't want to be the one to blame.
Right. But it doesn't always have to be like some major incident that resulted in the end of the breakup where it's like he cheated or she cheated. That's why I broke up. It can be like, sometimes it's like, it's just not a fit. And
that's
then
the mature perspective.
Right. And then people can be like, so what happened? And then you can be like, well, he was crazy. Instead of being like, he was crazy. He did this. He did that. There's room for us to be like, I also entered the relationship and I saw red flags and decided to ignore them, or
Yeah.
I thought that
That's the really
shit
mature
like that.
approach.
That's taking accountability for
The evolved
Exactly.
aspect.
That's taking accountability for the part that we may have played and been like, so, I'm sure there were some things that I did that weren't the best.
Yeah.
Although it wasn't something like cheating, sneaky, or some shit like that, there's things that we do where they can tell a story as well. They got stories to tell.
I wonder what stories these niggas is telling about me.
What you think?
Shit, I don't know. Fuck them. That's how I take accountability. I don't know what they can say. But either way, like you mentioned, that is a great way to move through life and practice maturity and growth and evolvement. Because even I'm thinking about that now. When I tell the story about when me and a nigga broke up, I could take that approach. I could be like, it just wasn't aligned, but I will say the truth.
Right. You don't have to withhold the truth, but we don't say a lick. Or a lot of people don't say a
we be saying our licks.
Yeah, we have, but I'm saying a lot of people do not.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't.
It's
don't. Like they did that to me, and fuck niggas and blah blah blah. I'm just tired of them.
Yes. So mistakes are also part of the blame game. Y'all, mistakes are common. We're all human. We're all gonna make mistakes, but it's easier to pass the mistakes off.
Man, Sweep is like, please take me out of it.
Take me out of it.
I made a mistake, but
they help us learn and grow.
Yeah.
That's the really good part about it. When we do stuff all the time where it's like, oh, we didn't do that right, but now we know for the future how to execute, and our mistake has led us to becoming better. That's like, it's kind of like the perfectionism piece, like the more we accept that we're not perfect, that we're human, that we're flawed, then we leave room for
mistakes to happen and grace.
And for us to show up even better the next time an opportunity is presented. Because there's been some times where it's like, damn, we really fumbled that. It don't be a fumble though. It'd be like a quick.
It just be an area of opportunity where we realize that we could have done better, or we didn't do something that we were supposed to do.
Yes.
And we take accountability.
Are you quick to own up to a mistake?
It depends, honestly. Sometimes, but sometimes I can be stubborn. Because it's hard to take accountability sometimes. It's like, fuck, now this is going to make me look, and this is going to make me viewed in a negative light.
Yeah.
This is going to make me appear not perfect, or this is going to make me appear flawed.
Inadequate.
Yeah. So, it depends.
Yeah.
How about you?
Sometimes it's hard. I mean, it is hard. I'm trying to think. In certain situations, I could be like, oh yeah, I dropped the ball on that.
Yeah.
I feel like if it's kind of like a safe space, I'll be like, damn, I really fucked up. My bad. But
I think it depends on how it's being presented too. Yeah. Not that means if you have to be held accountable, if you got to be held accountable. But sometimes when, it may be presented like, you did this, and you're like, oh shit, what the fuck? You don't want to immediately be like, I did do that, because you're like, ooh, I really did.
It stung.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, it stings. It stings. I think honestly, my therapist said I'm avoidant, but I'm gonna say that maybe I do have some avoidant qualities, which I'm pretty sure we all have some of all of the attachment styles are inside of us, right? Because sometimes I feel like I try to avoid making mistakes so I don't have to deal with any conflict or whatever might come, the consequences of a mistake or being irresponsible, or like I try to avoid all of that. The same thing with being risk adverse, right? It's like I don't even want to take no risk. I don't want to do nothing that's gonna take me off the path of straight and narrow, because I don't want to even deal with whatever that's gonna come with. You know what I mean? So I feel like mistakes do happen, but I try my best to where it's just kind of like, damn, I did what I could. I tried.
Or sometimes you don't even realize you're making a mistake, and then that's when it really blindsides you, and you're like, damn, I really I fucked that.
Yeah. I guess it's just circumstantial, right? It just and situational. I feel like I could be good at it if I had to be, as long as a motherfucker's coming at me with some sense. Yeah.
Come correct.
Come correct. Come to the girl with some respect.
Shit.
At the forefront.
So, how can we break the cycle of blaming and shaming? Because we want to be more accountable, right? We want to be able to hold ourselves more accountable. We want to hold other people accountable too, but we're going to be starting with self.
It always starts with the self.
Yeah. And a part of that is doing less of the blaming and shaming. So, know that you are fully responsible for yourself. We see things from our own perspective. We just talked about that. They always say there's 3 sides to the story. His, hers, and that's hers. Or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
But it's easy for us to get lost in our own world and really convince ourselves that what we think is it.
Yeah.
And not consider reality. So just be aware of that.
Yeah.
Because we don't want to get lost in our own world. We don't want to be delusional. We want to be as realistic as possible, grounded as possible, and just really focusing on the facts.
Period. Yeah. And remember also, everything comes back to healing ourselves. Just like it comes back to the self, we also have to do the work to heal and move forward. It's really hard to take accountability and responsibility for ourselves when we are in denial, when we can't take account, like when we really can't look at what's unhealed about us and just keep it 2 Virgils.
Man, in talking to people, although I've sure been on both sides, but when you're like talking to people who aren't self-aware and who never take accountability, and you hear the things that they're saying, and you try to point out like you kind of play a role in this. That is so difficult sometimes when people are just completely tapped out and you're like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
It's like, God damn, we are not going to get anywhere. Like, you're going to keep being stuck in this cycle. We're going to keep having this same conversation.
Yeah.
And it's just going to be not productive.
Yeah. It's when people are like closed-minded and just not aware. They're hurt themselves. You know what? It's so funny when you talk to people who are not fully, I don't want to say fully evolved, because we're never fully evolved, but evolving and growing, and they haven't dealt with their own personal hurt, trauma, childhood issues. Having conversations with those people, the real hurt ones who don't even realize they fucking hurt.
Yeah.
I'm like, nigga, what in the fuck? And those people will also sometimes try to gaslight you and make you feel like what you ain't saying ain't real. And then it's like, well, you did this, y'all. I said, hold on.
Not the gaslight.
Heal.
Not the gaslight.
Heal, nigga, heal.
We love to tell somebody to heal.
You're gaslighting me.
Heal.
I almost told somebody today at work, like, don't gaslight me.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Don't tell me that don't tell me that I don't have this accurate. Because you know I do.
We'll whip that up so quick. I feel like I'm being gaslit.
Listen.
I'll never forget. But the last time I used it, I said, I'm not going to continue to be gaslit. Fuck you. I won't continue to be gaslit.
We're not continuing it. Yes.
Anywho. So yeah, that's how we can do that for sure. Healing ourselves. We also have to own our responsibilities. When we are the people who usually agree to complete a task, right? Very rarely as adults are people making us like, you got to do this, you better do this, you got to do that. I know there's some shit we got to do at work.
Even if you're assigned a task, nigga, you agreed to work here. Yeah. That means you agreed to your responsibilities and duties.
Yeah.
You signed, I'm an employee, it's already forewarned.
Exactly. And there's some shit that are non-negotiables, like bills, having to go to work, having to take care of yourself. These are just things that are part of life and adulting.
Yeah.
And we have to take care of them. So own the shit. Put, like you said earlier, put into place what you have to put into place so you do not have to suffer from the consequences or make it my emergency, because ultimately these are your responsibilities.
Period.
When I'm lining up my shit, it's to take care of my responsibilities. Listen. I'm not considering, oh, let me put some over here in case I gotta assist.
Yeah. Don't want to hit you with
that's
this.
What you gotta do.
Period.
That's what your mind should be thinking. Like, what do I have to do to make sure my shit's taken care of? Now, we know that things happen. Things come up.
Yes.
But on the regular, we know what's going to come up. We know how much it's going to be. We know when it's due.
We don't want to be down bad.
Yeah.
Like, being down bad and not being able to pull yourself out of it, that to me feels like the pits of hell. I know some people probably just feel like, oh, well, I could just ask. I could just borrow. I could just make a way. Hell no. I'd be like, nigga, It got to be something that's just like, I don't even have, just
like something happened.
just
Something
out of
happened
the,
out of your control.
yes,
Something happened that's out of your control. But as long as it's in your control, you gotta own up to your responsibilities, your decisions, be conscious, and do what you have to do because you're responsible for it.
yes, you are responsible. So next thing we can do is we can recognize negative behavioral patterns and break them. Listen, when
Break every chain.
period. When things no longer serve you, you got to move forward. You got to break it off. This is no different, right? Recognize that blaming, shaming cycle. Figure out what triggers you, what makes you feel like you can't take accountability so that you have to blame someone, or when you feel shame, what is that? Recognize it and work on it. Talk to your therapist.
Yeah.
Write it down.
Talk to somebody.
We have to do some mindful reflections, because once we realize the pattern, then it's like, oh, okay, I know how I can be better. I got to really take this episode to Wook. Wook, listen to this. Listen to this. That's my sister.
Yeah, there's some people that could definitely take it, that we can take it to. Because this is really, one of the cornerstones of being an adult. Being responsible is something that's not talked about a lot, but it's something that is very crucial.
This is really figuring out what role you play in your life, in the lives of others, and taking really agency over yourself and deciding, making a conscious decision that you are moving from the passenger seat to the driver's seat. And nigga hitting the switches in that bitch, okay? It's giving zoop, zoop,
tipping
zoop,
on fofos.
Zoop. That's what you got to do, okay? It's time to put the hands on 10 and 2 and ride that, okay?
Like a rodeo, yeah.
Period.
It's very serious because you know what? Sometimes I don't think we're really looking at the small details that go into being responsible. We just look at bigger picture. Like, I'm an adult, I gotta have a place to live. I'm an adult, I gotta have a car. I'm an adult, I gotta have, nice things. Not thinking about the small things you gotta do to acquire and upkeep.
Yes.
Do you need a smaller apartment?
Yes.
Do you need a different car?
It's
Do
really,
you need to be buying groceries and cooking instead of eating out? Like, all that shit matters.
It's
Every day I'm
strategizing.
thinking,
bitch.
oh,
It's strategizing.
Yeah.
When we are being responsible and accountable for our lives, ourselves, our livelihood, it's strategizing. All the little queens out there who are listening, I know we have a bunch of little sisters out there.
yeah.
If you did not have an older sister, or if you are a younger sibling who does not have to be accountable or responsible, and maybe you're getting out here and learning how to do it now, really take this seriously. Being a put together bitch, which we have not used that phrase in so long,
Right.
is really at the core of being responsible and accountable. We talk about being a material girl, but you can't even be a material girl if you're not responsible and accountable.
And that's why I'm not a real material girl, because I'm responsible. And I know what I have. I know what's coming in and I know what's going out. So
Period,
I'm a
okay?
material girl within my material means.
It's giving checks
now, if
and
you're
balances.
being a material girl, hella material girl without the means, that's
then
when
you're
you
really
gotta bring...
poor. You're really poor. Take those labels off. Put them down.
You gotta dial back. You gotta dial back.
You gotta stay out of the Gucci, the Balenciaga, the Prada, and get on over to Zara. Get on over to Nordstrom.
Which has quality pieces.
It does. Get on over to ASOS. Come on. Pivot, queens, baby queens. Take this. Learn from your big sisters.
Yeah.
When you get to an age, you just want to be self-reliant. You want to be self-sufficient, and you want to have the choice to depend on a person. You want to have the choice to rely on a person. You want to have the choice, not feel obligated or like there's no other option. I have to call somebody to help. We know that's not everybody's story, and it's hard to do. Right. But we're talking about making smart decisions to put yourself in a position so that you're where
your needs are met.
Period. Your
needs are met, and then a cherry on top is the desires as well.
That's it.
But basic necessities.
That's it. It's the little steps. It's the little things that make us a little bit better every day. And it
starts with the mindset shift if it's not already implemented.
Period.
Because for some people it's innate. And some people do have to work at it because maybe they had a different upbringing.
Perhaps.
Maybe you were spoon fed and then all of a sudden the spoon was taken away and it's like, oh shit, I got to be responsible now. Like, oh, I wasn't used to this. I was used to everything being done
handed
for
to
me.
Yeah.
So now I have to do some unlearning and relearning. Whatever it is, you got to tap in.
We just ultimately, really, honestly, have to think about radical responsibility as radical self-improvement.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, it's like when we are really responsible of our lives, when we really take responsibility and accountability, and it ultimately makes us better people, better women out here in the streets.
Better citizens.
Exactly. And you know, you even said something today about your job. When you're like, I don't have to stay there and suffer. That's taking a responsibility and accountability for the current situation that you're in and deciding how can I improve my circumstance because I want to be better.
Right. I want better for myself. I got to put me first, Lucius. I got to put me first.
I got to put me first. It all goes together.
It is my responsibility. Ultimately, I see what it is and I see what it ain't. It's not my job's responsibility to make me happy. Mm-hmm. It's my responsibility to make me happy. And once I see the structure is not giving what I needed to give,
period,
I have the agency to dip.
Period.
That's with jobs. That's with relationships. That's with anything.
Yeah.
We have the agency.
That's what we've been tasked with, keeping ourselves happy and full of joy. What you gonna do? What you gonna do?
Something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we done went on a little mini rant.
Okay, so this is also how we can recognize our negative behavioral patterns and break them. Don't engage if you feel like participating in a cycle. If you find yourself wanting to blame or shame others for something that happened to you, because we can play the victim. Rework. Mm-hmm. Rework your thought process. I always say, let's control the controllables.
Yeah.
That's something that can help get us over the hump. Mm-hmm. Because sometimes there is some shit going on that is out of our control. But let's try to rework it and not get into a victim mindset and be like, what can I control? What are some things that I can implement, that I can change to, like, you know, get some sort of progress, get the ball rolling.
Yeah.
And then do that. And then you'll see that, okay, things are starting to fall into place. Mm-hmm. You knocked me down, but I stood back up. You didn't keep me down. You didn't keep, as long as I get back up, you didn't keep me down.
Get back up again.
Period.
Get back up.
Because we're not saying we're not going to get knocked down.
No.
But I really can't stand somebody who plays a victim all the time. I just can't.
Yes. So, she said it. She said it. Last thing we're going to do to break these negative behavioral patterns is to own your feelings and communicate them properly. Listen, beloved. Piece. If you are acting, this is tea. If you're acting inauthentically, you are more prone to making mistakes, right? Communicate your feelings and set any boundaries you need, beloved, that you need in order to accomplish tasks efficiently without losing yourself. This is a biggie. Nigga, say what it is, say what it ain't, create the boundaries, and then operate within that space. Really communicate how you're feeling. This even comes up in a relationship. I had this little tidbit, a little something happening, and I'm like, oh, I don't really like the way I feel. Mm-hmm. And that, all we're going to do is blame each other for what's not being done. Mm-hmm. So let's reestablish the boundaries around what the expectations are.
It's so important to always have conversations about expectations.
So that we can move forward. Yeah. I'm like, because you know what? It's going to... You want to tussle. If you want to tussle, I ain't trying to take it there, but we can take it there. So
I'm not trying to tussle with you.
Yeah. Own your feelings, create your boundaries, and move in a way that's authentic to you.
Period.
Yeah.
So
pivoting.
We're changing the language here.
Yeah.
Some blaming language can be, you make me angry. Responsible language, I feel angry right now.
I like that.
Instead of saying it's your fault, you can say, I contributed to this.
Instead of saying they expect too much, you can say, my boundaries can be more clear. Now that's a goodie. My boundaries could be more clear.
Yeah.
Instead of saying I can't do that, say I'm choosing not to.
Mm-hmm. And instead of saying they won't let me, say I'm prioritizing harmony. Period. I'm doing what I want to do.
Right.
Prioritizing.
So you know the girls always have to come with tips and tricks. We need tools for the toolkit.
We do.
So if you want to develop more accountability, more responsibility, we're going to let you know how. First thing you can do is take your time. Understand what goes into the work, the job, the thing that you're doing, and plan accordingly. We're going to say that that's the life. Overall, look at all your things, all your responsibilities. The more prepared you are with a plan of attack, the easier it will be to complete a task efficiently. The way we talked about our bills, we already know what the fuck. I got a calendar, dog.
Same.
I know what date and bills hitting for and how much how much coming out of that account. I also know
every
when I'm
month,
getting paid.
I know when I'm getting paid, and I know how much it's going to be every
period. So I've already done a plan of a strategic attack about what goes where, how it looks, so that I'm prepared. When a bill hit my account, I'm not tripping because I already know the money's there, it's allocated for, and I can relax.
And there's things that pop up like tires and wheel alignments.
But even that's been prepared for.
But then that's why we, if fortunate, have rainy day funds to take care of that type of shit.
Yes.
But for the bills that keep coming month after month on the same day, there's really no excuse for those. We know what's going on.
Listen.
And unless you know your job, you lost your job, shit like that happens.
Or unless the gas bill was crazy high, because that happened. You know.
Yeah, a little shit. We're not talking about the things that pop up in the unfortunate circumstances. We're talking about the things that are consistent,
the month
and the things that you're aware of, and the responsibilities you know you have, and the part that you can play in being prepared to take care of the shit.
Yes.
So here's also how you can develop accountability and responsibility. Communicate and ask questions. When you're given a task, make sure you ask questions so you can fully understand. Okay, that's what I be doing. Okay, slow down, because people at work be talking so fast. Email so and so. Hold on, I don't have the email. What you just saying out names? Who is this? What exactly is expected of me? What is the expectation? What are the deliverables? So that I know that when I get to doing what I have to do and I present it, what was asked.
It's right.
Right. That's it.
Period. I got you.
Don't be afraid to ask for questions. When you're in a relationship, don't be afraid to ask questions for clarity. I don't understand. What exactly do you mean when you say this? What exactly is the expectation here? So that don't be disappointed if you didn't communicate what you actually wanted, because I didn't know. I can't read your mind.
Period. Next, we are going to do what you say, or you gonna do what you say. The best way to develop both accountability and responsibility is to ensure you always do what you say you were going to do. Ladies, this is a lesson in integrity. That's what that is, okay? Be who you are, do what you say you're going to do, and do it when nobody's looking. The same. Demonstrate that you can take control over a situation to meet your stated objectives, even when setbacks or unfavorable circumstances occur. Show up, show out, be authentic. Keep your head on the swivel, nigga. Do it all. That's what we're doing.
I pride myself in doing what I say I'm going to do. And if you can't, you communicate that. You know what? I know I said I would do this, but something came up and I can't do it anymore. It's not looking likely
anymore.
Yeah.
Period.
Okay, also own mistakes. This is when accountability comes in. If you're a leader of the team, take accountability for the mistakes that the team member who may have been under you have made.
Yeah.
The discharge planner.
Period.
Ultimately, we are the owners of this podcast. If some shit, if the episode don't come out on Tuesday, y'all gonna be looking at us.
Right.
Where's the fucking episode? We
not anybody else.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna be turning around looking at them now. What the fuck
happened?
We
have to do that all the time. We have to take notes and improve. Oh shit, we missed an ad. Oh, the ad wasn't. We have to take notes and improve on what we can do better for the overall systems that we put in place to move more efficiently, because we're responsible and we have to take accountability. It falls on the girls.
Period. Y'all know us. We're here for you. Lastly, embrace challenges as opportunities. If you're put in an uncomfortable position while on your journey of growth, you know you're about to learn something new to add to your toolbox. Look at challenges as an opportunity of expansion, queens. We're growing and flowing and doing all the things we need to do to be better every day.
Yeah, being responsible and accountable.
That's it.
Two things that are challenges but necessary.
Yes. We're going to get it right. If you're struggling, listen. One way or another, you're going to learn. Either you ain't got it and you're going to need it, or you're going to learn it. When you need it, you're going to have it.
And there's gonna be some people it's nothing like coming against somebody that holds you accountable either. You like, oh shit, I see I really gotta show up here. Cause I'm not gonna be able to pull the okey doke. It's like,
What was done? The humble pie. Taking a slice and eating.
and that's what you have to do. Hold people accountable and expect to be held accountable. I think those are the best relationships where it's like we're not bullshitting each other. It's like, you know what? I know that you did this. It made me feel like this. This is not, this is expectation, da da da. And then they do that to you, and it's like, okay, well, we're really operating here.
Yeah. It's
we're
real.
really doing something.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah.
Time to pivot, girlies.
Now it's time to pivot into our segment of the week. This week it is going to be a girlfriend gag. So girlfriend gags are where you, the girlfriends, send your questions, your concerns, and then we answer them here on the show. So
you can send those to contact@theblackgirlbravado.com. Slide in our DMs wherever you need to get a hold of us. Just send it over.
So we got a letter, and it comes from a girlfriend. She says, our relationship dynamics changed drastically with the news that she's pregnant. It's been 4 months, and I'm trying to figure out how to cope. Don't get me wrong, I'm happy for her, and she's handling the news with grace. So these are two girlfriends. A girlfriend has just laid on her sister girl that I'm pregnant, and the dynamic of their relationship has changed. We've been hip to hip since we met, and we did a lot of fun stuff together. We made a pact that we were going to be the childless aunties, but of course things change. But I can't help but think selfishly on how this is going to change everything. She's being distant, and I'm starting to pull back, and it makes it harder because she's my only friend. Fuck, I know that feeling, girl. Like, I need you to survive. Remember that song? What makes it even more challenging is that her childhood friends are more excited than me. I want to be a good friend. I feel so bad, and it's been eating me alive. Am I being a bad friend, and what is some advice you guys can share if you have any? P.S. I have asked her if I'm being a bad friend, and she told me I'm thinking too much, but something in my gut is saying otherwise. What?
No, I'm just.
What are you thinking?
I was just listening. I literally didn't do anything. I yawned and you turned around. I don't think you're being a bad friend. I feel like you are probably working through your emotions and feeling the feelings of losing. It's like you're silently grieving, losing this relationship or the context of the relationship as you know it, right? The way you understand it is shifting, it's changing, it's unknown. You don't know what to expect. And unless you guys are going to sit down to have a real conversation about how you're feeling, you're just going to feel this and not be able to
resolve it. Maybe instead of presenting it as being a bad friend, just have the honest conversation. It's not being a bad friend. These are real feelings. I had the feelings when my best friend said that she was pregnant. I'm like, well, this is different.
Yeah.
Like, we were young, 25-ish, not hella young, but I'm like, wow, girl.
Relatively young.
The starting that journey wasn't on my agenda at the time. And I'm like, well, the dynamic is definitely going to change. And you don't know how it's going to change. You don't know exactly what the shift is going to look like, until it actually changes. Sometimes it doesn't really change much. Thankfully for us, there was some changes, but we were able to still keep the friendship intact, right? So communicating that and not just assuming, oh my God, I'm a bad friend. It's something that can help keep the relationship intact. Of course, your friend, she's going to have to play her part as well. But just because you're not showing the same excitement as her other friends doesn't make you a bad friend. You just are processing feelings a little differently because, like you said, you guys are attached at the hip. Maybe your other friends weren't attached at the hip like y'all two. Maybe y'all didn't make the quote-unquote childless auntie pact. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe there was just a different dynamic, and your feelings of joy may come, or I'm sure will come, as this progresses and you accept it as your new reality. Like, you know what? The baby here.
Yeah. Like you mentioned, there's no bad or good. It's just is what it is. You guys are in a state of transition, and this is real. No matter if it's a baby, if it's a relationship, if it's a move, whatever it is, whatever creates, I don't want to say distance, but contrast in the relationship is going to bring up feelings that you probably never experienced, and you're going to have to grow and stretch and expand and say, this is what I'm feeling. How can we comfort each other? How can we hold space for one another? How can we make each other feel seen right now? That's what it feels like you need right now, to feel seen by your friend.
Mm-hmm.
And just to have a moment to say, yo, I'm feeling this way.
Reassurance, like,
Yeah.
I'm still gonna be your homegirl.
Yeah, that maybe that's what you're looking for. So you're not being a bad friend. I don't think you're overthinking it. I think you're having justifiable feelings that they're valid, but you definitely have to sit down with her and see if she's in a space to talk about it. Like, I know I brought that up to you if I was being a bad friend, but maybe bad wasn't the right word.
Right.
Maybe I'm just processing my feelings around your transition. Can we talk about it?
Can we talk about it?
Yeah. And she might be like, oh, wow, how can I support you? I want you to know that we're entering this new journey because y'all are.
Mm-hmm.
Now you are the childless auntie. You really are the childless auntie right now.
Yeah, you got a little niece or nephew.
Yeah, which is cute too. Maybe there's a new way for you to show up for her and support her in this phase of you guys' friendship. I don't know what her personal relationship looks like with the child's father, but you know, shit, depending on who, if he around, y'all might still be connected.
Might be a
hip.
childless father. Step in.
You might be giving us co-parent, okay?
I feel it.
The co-parenting auntie. I don't know. We're just honestly, also, sidebar disclaimer, y'all. Know that we come here with jokes on the spirit. It's always laughter, love,
and light.
That's it. So although we're talking about a very real situation, you know, we just have a natural banter with one another that makes us humorous.
Right.
So, but all in all, your feelings are valid. Your feelings are justifiable. Talk to your friend. Have a real honest conversation about her transition, how you can support her, and furthermore, how she can support you.
And then after you resolve those feelings, show up and be the best friend you can be.
And the best auntie.
Because she needs support as well.
Right. Especially if this was unexpected. I'll be like, hold on, world shaking.
Girl,
who's shaking the table?
Why the fuck have things changed? I'm now
with child, girl. Yeah.
Girl, I'm pregnant.
Do the best you can with what you can.
Mm-hmm.
That's really the tea.
That's all you can do. So we wish you the best and your bestie the best. And thank you all for showing up.
And we also want to thank our sponsors this week, Athletic Greens and Vitamin Water. Thank y'all so much. You know that's how we pay the bills, child. So use the codes. Don't skip through the ads. And
support the homegirls.
Support us. Next week, we are going to be talking about self-gaslighting. It's going to be a goodie. Come back. You don't want to miss it. Love you.
Bye.